In world, our work, our boss, our career, they want us to obviously do because it helps with the business. It helps better the business. But they're not going to prioritize your mental health. You ever feel like you are juggling everything? Work, kids, sports, the spouse, and everything seems to be dropping. How do we fix that? If this resonates with you, I want you to hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. Welcome to the married life. When you're trying to figure out this rhythm in your life, you have to set priorities. This is so, we in world, our work, our boss, our career, they want us to obviously do excellent and well, right? Because it helps with the business. It helps better the business. But they're not going to prioritize your mental health. I shouldn't say that. Maybe some businesses do. But for the most part, you have to prioritize your mental health. You have to prioritize your time with your spouse. You have to prioritize the time with your kids. You have to be the one that prioritizes. And that's like for us, you know? So like for some of you, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be like, this is crazy. I can't believe he does that. So I work out 2 times a day, once in the morning at 5 a.m.
Before anybody's awake.
Yep. Because my goal is I want to spend time with the Lord and I want to work out and I want to read a book. So then when my family's awake, I'm with them. When my wife's awake, I'm with her. Like their priority now. Okay. I have to invest in myself for an overflow to invest in them. This is what we do with the married life. We invest in ourselves to invest into you. But then I also go to the gym at either 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. because it's a priority to me that 1, I'm healthy, and 2, my mental health. I actually get so much clarity when I go to the gym again, because for the longest time I was just doing a power nap, which is fantastic. I still love power naps. But when I go to the gym, I'm getting creative ideas, and I'll actually start texting Krissy and our other staff members.
These texts.
And I'm like,
it's not like you're working.
Yeah.
You're still working. It's not even like a break for you.
Yeah.
It like just gets your mind going.
For sure.
I've seen a difference. Like you would always do that to me in the morning too. I always get texts at 5 o'clock in the morning, but my phone is on Do Not Disturb. But now I'm getting it in the afternoon as well.
Yep. And again, it's just that priority, because one of the biggest things, and I think we're going to talk about this a little later, but when you're actually asking and really caring about your family, caring about your wife, and asking this question, I heard a pastor say this years and years and years ago, but he said, what's it like to be on the other side of me? And so you want to know from your spouse, like this is a dangerous question. Hey, ask your spouse this, ask your kids this if you have kids. What do I prioritize in life?
Right. You think one thing.
100%. I think it's you. I think my kids are like, oh, you love Jesus so much. They might be like, you love football, you know?
It's true. And let me see your bank account.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now what you prioritize. And so if you want a realistic, right, numbers, black and white, look at your bank account and ask people around you. Well, that's what you prioritize.
That's so good too, because even when you say that, and again, everyone's at different places financially, but when you think about like even date nights, right? Like your bank account will reflect your dates.
Yeah.
Now, again, dates don't always have to cost money. No. You can go to the beach and whatnot. But still, that's something you want to prioritize.
Yeah.
You know?
It's never in your budget.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to address something.
Yep.
As a mom, and I know everybody out there who is a mom, you're trying to figure out rhythm, balance. What does this look like in my life? We're just going to say it. We're going to address the elephant in the room of mom guilt. And like, we've literally talked to our counselor about it. And it is like a real thing. And it's very difficult to maneuver because number one, your spouse doesn't understand you because they're not the mom.
Nope. I'm a dad.
And they don't have,
I'm like, let's just go.
They don't have mom guilt. And so, I talked about it. I think it's a good thing. Having mom guilt is a good thing if you keep it in check, because it means that you love your kids and that you care, right?
Yep.
It's like if you don't have that thing, like you might be unhealthy in a different way. And so knowing that you have the right rhythms in your life, having the aerial view, right? Knowing like, okay, realistically, I spend a crap ton of time with my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're always going to have mom guilt, but like we're saying before, get on the scale Maybe you do have mom guilt because you don't spend time. Like, get on the scale and actually say, and then work that through your life.
That's good.
Matthew 6:33 says, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things will be given to you as well. Here's how I look at it. You know, you might have mom guilt for a bunch of different reasons, right? I know some people who have mom guilt because they had a terrible childhood and they didn't get the things that they needed from their parents and blah, blah, blah. Now they want to give their kid everything.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
They want to go on the complete opposite spectrum of what they had as a child. That's not healthy either.
Right.
Right? I'm not saying the abuse and the trauma that you experienced, that's not healthy. But giving your child anything and everything worldly that they want is not good either. So when the Bible says to seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well, my point of view as a mom is like, okay, I don't need to abuse my kids, obviously. But if I give them anything and everything that they could possibly want, not giving them the spiritual food that they actually need, helping them to seek the kingdom and seek his righteousness, they're going to have different trauma than I did as a kid.
Yep.
And so going back biblically, okay, what does this look like?
Yep.
Prioritizing God first for your children, not things of this world, not money, not all of that thing. And I'm not saying don't give those things to your kids, don't go on vacations, don't, whatever. Do those things. But if that is your priority,
right,
you're going to constantly have mom guilt, and now you're creating monsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to have a different problem.
Yep.
Than when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And so biblically knowing what your kids need.
That's so good. Hey, if this is helping you out, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now, because we want to continue to invest in couples just like you who want to invest in themselves. So we're going to go to number 3, okay? Remove time wasting activities. So there's this guy that I follow on X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't even know the dude's name, but I just sent to Krissy last week. I'm like, what if we do this? And this guy years ago got rid of TV, got rid of Netflix, Disney Plus, all the stuff, right? Just got rid of everything, got rid of social media. And he said, what we did is we obviously got rid of all pretty much tech, and we spend more time with each other, husband and wife, more dates, more time in the Bible, more time watching sermons in worship, more time with the kids of doing board games, of going on walks, hikes, adventures, stuff like that. But then also more stuff on businesses. And so he said that they used to both be self-employed, or not self-employed, both.
W2.
Yeah. They got to a place because now they're taking this time at night where they would just binge watch stuff. Instead of binge watching something at night, they started watching business videos, leadership business videos, and they created their own separate businesses. Now I think he has like multiple businesses. They have multiple streams of income now.
It's like 14 different. They went from 2 streams of income, W2s each, to 14 different incomes.
Who doesn't want that?
Right.
And
that's even biblical. In Ecclesiastes, it talks about having 6, 7, even 8 different streams of revenue, because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. You never know if one's going to fall, you never know.
Yep.
And so that is actually biblical.
Yeah.
Not having 2, but having 6, 7, even 8, it says. It's in Ecclesiastes 11 something.
That is awesome. And here's, it goes back to number 3. You have to remove the time wasting activities. So if you want multiple streams of income, right? If you want to have a healthy, you're like, oh, I can't have a healthy rhythm with my spouse because I'm always working. Well, are you actually wasting some time with activities that don't matter? And you could actually be investing financially in a way so then you could actually leave the job you're at for one that you really have passion for. And then you actually open up more time with your spouse,
right?
More time with your family, more time with your kids. And so we, again, that's extreme. It's kind of like what Krissy shared in one of our podcasts before, that I'm very extreme. So when we talked about doing a sex calendar, and it's like certain days are mine, like, am I going to be super disappointed when that doesn't happen? Because I'm extreme. Well, when I saw this, I asked her, I was like, you want to do this? She's like, yeah. And so like my mind just like clicked. I'm just in it, like, and the only thing that we're watching right now, because it's playoff football season, is football. Obviously. But I deleted,
that would be too extreme.
That would be too extreme. I deleted all social. We unplugged one of the TVs, haven't been on the other TV. Literally have only watched football and that's it. But already seen that extra time, right? Removing time wasting activities where now it's like we are talking more, laying in bed, looking face to face instead of scrolling on our phone, laughing at something together. Now we're just laughing last night about our past, right?
Oh my gosh. That was funny.
And then reading way more together, and then dreaming and working on our podcast and YouTube more together. And so removing those time wasting activities, that's going to really help us for the future that we desire, and that rhythm that you're like, oh, I like this in my life. This feels good as a rhythm.
Yeah. And now for some people that may be like super extreme. Like I do feel like we kind of are extreme. We're extreme with the way that we eat. We're extreme with like certain things. It's a little bit easier for us because we have been extreme in the past. Like my kids don't have phones. They don't have iPads. They don't have like unlimited access to the internet. And so it might be extreme for you, but to even like have a pulse on it and say, oh, wait a minute, this is normal, but it shouldn't be.
Right.
And I see it, and I'm not judging you, but like, because I get it.
Yep.
But like seeing families out and like everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
Like that really saddens me because it's like, well, why are you out together as a family when like literally from like a 3-year-old to the 20-year-old, they all have like phones.
Yeah.
And they're all in their own little world. It really makes me sad. And so if that's you, this is not judgment. It's saying like there's more for you and your family. And we've been in youth ministry for a long time. We don't know everything as a parent, but we can see the other side of other people's parenting. And so like when you allow that in your home, and then you get so frustrated when either your kids are teenagers and they want nothing to do with you, or when they move out and they want to move away and they don't want to come home for the holidays. This is why.
Yep.
It's because you initially created like a stiff arm because you had to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm not saying don't ever, because there are times where I'm like, guys, I need you to go watch a movie. I need like some like time. And so I just want to have a pulse on it is what I'm saying. Of like, let's take a look at it. Let's step on the scale.
Right.
See where we're at.
100%.
Yeah.
So Hebrews 12:1 says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. So the question is, what is hindering your connection with your spouse? What is hindering your connection with your family? What can you give up to connect? Because I remember when we were in Indiana and there was a couple there, they were married. And when we would do marriage counseling with them, one of the things that he got annoyed by was when they would drive, he would want to talk, but she would be scrolling on her phone. So again, giving up time wasting activities, scrolling on your phone. But he never communicated that to her.
Right. She had no idea.
No idea. And so she just thinks, well, we're going for a 20-minute drive for whatever. I'm bored. I'm going to do this. Not realizing he felt undesired, uncared for, unheard. Like, hey, this is time for us.
Right.
And so just being able to do that. And so that is something that was hindering their relationship. And so even having that healthy conversation with your spouse is, what do you think is hindering our relationship right now? Is it too much scrolling, too much binge watching, too much, And again, you might be like, no, we like watching 30 minutes of reels every night because we connect on it. We're not saying don't do that. You just want to have that conversation with your spouse. But also it's like, you can't keep blaming the world that you don't have enough time when you're spending 30 minutes on your phone and not at the gym and you're trying to get healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we have to take accountability for our own time. Nobody's going to do that for us.